Jerusalem.
Years ago or something, there were all these open miracles: the splitting of the sea, there were the 10 plagues, national, enormous miracles that happened that were witnessed by millions of people. So, the question is, what is the point? What is the point of all those miracles? Is it just God doing like a light show and some type of like a juggling act and showing off, so to speak, his infinite power? And what is that supposed to do? And what does it do for us today, practically speaking? So there's an unbelievable, a very fundamental commentary, a Hasidic commentary called the Noam Elimelech. And in the Noam Elimelech, he explains that the real purpose of miracles, which we don't have open miracles like that anymore, but the purpose of those miracles was really to get us to realize that everything is a miracle. Every single thing in the world is a miracle, even things that we perceive to be nature. Even things that we perceive to be natural in nature, they're really miracles. So he proves this in an unbelievable way, which is that he says by the splitting of the sea, it says, which means that the Jewish people were walking on dry land in the ocean. So what that means is that the ocean split, right? And you can imagine that the ocean like split into two walls, and in the middle is the dry land. That's what happens when the ocean splits. You're just walking on the dry land through the ocean. So he says this is what it means on a deeper level. This is what it means. It means when the Jewish people were walking on dry land, they felt like they were beside the Yam. They felt like they were in the middle of the ocean, like they were walking through the ocean. He says that's the point of a miracle. The point of a miracle is to wake us up to realize that really everything is miraculous. Every single thing that we experience in this world is truly miraculous. It's equally miraculous because everything is divine providence, and God is not limited to. It's not hard for God to make a miracle. He's infinite. So it's no harder for God to make a miracle than to make something that we call nature, which is really just a series of miracles that happen to be repeating themselves, so we get accustomed to that. But the Noam Elimelech says the point of a miracle, the point of suspending nature, so to speak, is to get us to realize that everything is equally miraculous. That the force, the whatever you want to call it, the God who created everything is constantly doing miracles. Constantly, every single thing is a miracle. We only really appreciate that when we see an actual open miracle. He says that was the point of the miracle. The point of the miracle was to get us to realize that everything's a miracle. So then the question is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find the spark of the divine in everything, which means essentially that we're trying to tap into that way of appreciating life, appreciating this world, where we look at everything as a miracle, where we're like inspired by everything. Everything is, if you want to use the term, everything is trippy. Everything becomes trippy. Because you look at everything, it's just like, whoa, oh my gosh. So this is mind-blowing. Like if you've ever, I'm not advocating doing drugs or anything like that, but if you've ever been around anyone that's engaged in any of those that alter your state of mind, so they'll say weird, funny things like, "Oh, look at my hand, man." They'll say like, "Check out my hand. I have like 5 fingers." And you're like, "Just be quiet. What are you talking about?" But what he's saying is that now that's stupidity. That's nothingness. But what a person can come to through deep contemplation of the fact that your hand really is just entirely spiritual. Everything that you have is rooted in the divine. You can come to a really a really lofty feeling of just being totally wowed by everything, totally inspired. Yeah.
Since you brought up the idea of miracles essentially being everywhere and everything, my question then would be, this is actually me as a visual artist, thinking with positive and negative space on what I see. So, what then would be considered to be ordinary, or the grounds of negative space in between miracles, and so that one could genuinely appreciate a miracle, however that's conceived. If that makes sense.
So I'm not sure I understand. You're saying, like, what is is there anything that's not a miracle?
Right. I'm wondering, like, how could one decipher and appreciate something as a miracle, or what would be considered to be ordinary around it? Right.
So really, what we're saying is that on the deepest level, what we're going for, which we're not going to get in half hour doing meditation, but what someone on the deepest level appreciates literally everything equally. Everything is mindful. Everything is equally inspirational. Everything. What this is called in the Hasidic terminology is called hishtadlus. Hishtadlus means equanimity. It means everything is equal. Everything that happens to me is beautiful. It's very, very good for a person, especially if a person goes through a tragedy and if the person has to come to terms with a very, very difficult, very tragic situation. So if you've worked on this and you sincerely believe that everything is divine, everything is for a reason, everything is divine providence, so that helps you cope to a tremendous degree. So that's another side benefit. It's not a reason why we're doing this, but that is another perk to working on appreciating, on seeing the divine in everything. If you feel like there's a plan, and you feel like someone is in control of your life, and who is the divine, who is the creator, and the creator loves us. Our sages say that God loves us more than a parent loves a child. So as a parent, that's hard to imagine. It's hard to imagine how someone could love you more than you love that's the ultimate love. The ultimate love that you feel in life is a parent to a child. And our sages say that God loves each one of us more than a parent loves their own child. So you can be assured that everything that you're going through is out of total love and concern for your well-being. Now, how does that work when things happen that are unbelievably tragic and horrible? So that's unfortunately something that we don't understand yet. That's something that's reserved for the world to come, when we'll finally get a glimpse, when the curtain will be peeled back and we'll see the reason for why everything had to be the way that it had to be. Right now, we don't know. We do not know. If anyone tells you they know the reason for something bad happening, then run in the other direction. It's not true. They don't know what they're talking about. By definition, we don't know. It's God's knowledge. It's beyond our level to comprehend what the plan is. But what we can understand, what we can internalize, is that there is a plan. There is a plan, and that God is in control. This is not random. It's not coincidental, and I'm not being punished. A lot of people feel that way. They feel like this must be some type of decree, some type of plague, or some type of punishment. Not true. It's that there's some type of plan that we don't understand. If we tap into the fact that everything is divine and everything is God, then it'll help us to grapple with those, not just to grapple, but to really thrive even in those difficult times. So, okay, let's fast forward to it's enough introduction. We'll get into the meditation. So here's what we're going to do. Here's the system. We're going to eat. Okay, if you're still hungry, if I have pistachios and oranges, that's all I brought. But I figure if just to eat like a tiny little bit, it could be just like a slice of orange or one pistachio. You could have more. Feel free to take as much as you want. But the idea will be that the culmination of our meditation will be eating this tiny little morsel of fruit. And And what we're going to do is we're going to turn that eating into something which is totally out of this world, like totally mind-blowing, totally trippy, totally mind-blowing experience. Because, like we've been saying, everything is divine, right? Everything is God. There's a spark of Elokus, a spark of divine everything. So there's a spark of divine in the orange. And when we eat the orange, it's like we're internalizing the divine in the deepest way. And we're turning eating this most base animalistic act that you could do. Aside from marital relations, this is like a close second. Maybe this even takes first. It's the most base animalistic thing that you could do. Just stick food in our face. That's it. It's so primitive. But you could. But the beauty of what it means to be a Ben Adam, what it means to be a human, and to be above the animals, is that we have the ability to go down to that most basic and physical desire, and to elevate it into the deepest spiritual endeavor that you could possibly imagine. We're elevating the physical to its root, which is spirituality, which is that's really the Kabbalists explain that's really the objective of this world. The whole purpose of this world is to take something that seems to be physical and to peel away, no pun intended, to peel away the hidden Elokus, the hidden God, the divine, which is contained within everything, and to elevate it, to return it back to its spiritual source. So eating has this very, very special quality of taking something which is the lowest physical act and elevating it all the way back up to its source. There's all types of Kabbalistic things going on when we eat. I don't want to scare anybody with too much of that, and I don't know too much of that, to be honest. But for example, there's a concept of reincarnation in Judaism. Everyone knows that, and you can come back sometimes as different things. And there are stories about people that come back as oranges, and all right, we won't go there. I don't want you to feel like they're eating somebody else, but basically it's a very deep, very, very deep thing. The Uri 9, the Chernobyl Rebbe, says that eating can be actually on a higher level of prayer, a higher level of service of God than prayer, tefillah, which is we always perceive Torah study and prayer to be the ultimate spiritual experience. The Uri 9 says eating is like eating puts everything else to shame. So that's eating. What we're going to try to do is focus when you take that bite, when you take the bite, try to focus on the fact that it's essentially spiritual. In its essence, it's spiritual. It's not physical. The taste that you're tasting is a taste of that reflects its spiritual essence in the heavens, where this punch came from. And that HaShem, God gave us that taste, the special taste of whatever, either the pistachio or the orange, whatever your preference is, in order for us to enjoy it, just out of pure kindness. God could have made just one thing. He could have just made, the tofu. He could have made everything just taste like tofu, just totally bland, awful texture. But he decided not to do that because he's very kind. He wants us to enjoy it. Literally, that's the reason why we have all these different assortments, all these different flavors, things that we're allowed to choose. And another interesting point that I'll mention is that when we're on a very, very high spiritual level, things actually taste better physically. This has been scientifically proven in psychology.